What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, there's a lot of speculation, a lot of reports, a lot of assumptions, and a lot of rumors surrounding former unified three belt WBA, WBC, IBF, welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, who was widely considered at one point top 5 pound for pound best fighters in the world, now more considered top 10, in my opinion, pound for pound best fighters in the world, and Errol the Truth Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. is 28 wins now, 1 loss, no draws, 22 wins by way of knockout. He is 33 years of age, 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach. With that said, Errol Spence suffered the first loss of his career in a big way, July 29th, Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena, when he took on finally the highly anticipated, mega, undisputed welterweight showdown against undefeated 3-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, now the undisputed reigning welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be acknowledged as the number 1 best pound for pound fighter in the world, in Terrence Bud Crawford. Terrence Crawford is now 40 wins, no losses, no draw, 31 big wins by way of knockout. He is 35 years of age. He'll be 36 September 28th in 2 weeks. 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. They finally fought in the highly anticipated showdown that has been well anticipated for years now. And on paper, it was seen to be a 50-50 fight if there ever were one. And again, it turned out not to be that, as Errol Spence got dropped in the second round, twice in the 7th round, and stopped in the 9th round. Now, going into negotiations, the reason why we're even talking about this right now is because the loser had 30 working business days to activate a rematch clause to immediately have the rematch, and the winner had to oblige and contractually was obligated to give the loser the rematch, which Errol Spence activated the rematch, and it's expected that Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford could rematch by the end of the year. But after the performance, after the fight itself took place, and from what we saw in this fight, many people find it hard to see Errol Spence make any adjustments to be able to be successful to even make the rematch close, let alone win it. Okay? And so with that said, there's a lot of different speculations, a lot of different reports, a lot of different, conversation as to what should be next. Errol Spence is trained by well-renowned 2-time Trainer of the Year, future Hall of Famer Derrick James. Okay, and many people point the finger at Derrick James, and they say Derrick James wasn't good enough. Okay, Derrick James didn't do what was necessary, for Errol Spence to win the fight. He didn't make the necessary adjustments for Errol Spence to win the fight, right? People started to talk about and say, man, Derrick James should, Errol Spence should fire Derrick James. They came up together. Okay, they started their careers together. Now, Derrick James was a professional boxer himself. He didn't have the best professional career, but he was, a professional boxer. And he has a close relationship with Errol Spence Jr., right? And so with that said, the fact that people are saying that he should part ways with Derrick James is just utterly ridiculous, in my opinion. The first time they suffer a loss in their career. Now it's being reported that Well, when that report came out that he was going to part ways or should part ways with Derrick James, people stated that there was two leading candidates to replace Derrick James. One was legendary retired Hall of Fame iconic superstar boxer, now trainer Roy Jones Jr., and the other was well-renowned coach and trainer, Coach Calvin Ford, who trains undefeated 3-division, 5-time world champion, superstar boxer who's the face of one of the face of the sport of boxing, in Gervonta Tank Davis. Gervonta Tank Davis is 29 wins, no losses, no draw, 27 big wins by way of knockout, 28 years of age, 5'5", with a 67-inch arm. The only thing you can say to that is that Gervonta Tank Davis' style and Errol Spence style are very, very comparable. They're both southpaws. They're both aggressive. They both have power, although Gervonta Tank Davis has more one knockout punch power. And they both can be fundamentally sound and strategic with their aggression. They have controlled chaos. I think Gervonta Tank Davis is more an explosive, twitchy athlete than Errol Spence is. He has faster feet, faster hands. Nonetheless, it's being speculated that Coach Calvin Ford could be training Errol Spence. And now it's being speculated that Gervonta Tank Davis is going to go in camp and help prepare Errol Spence for the rematch against Terrence Crawford. Gervonta Tank Davis has nothing in common with Terrence Crawford. He doesn't have a wiry frame, doesn't have extremely long arms. He's not versatile. He don't switch from southpaw to orthodox. They have nothing in common. Right? And so how can Gervonta Tank Davis, outside of being a southpaw and having power, mimic Terrence Crawford to give Errol Spence a good look? Right? He can't. Okay? Now, to bring in Coach Calvin as another set of eyes to help game plan and prepare for the Terrence Crawford rematch, I'm cool with that. But as far as Gervonta Tank Davis himself, he can't help prepare Errol Spence for Terrence Crawford. Now, Coach Calvin was on the Rise podcast, as he always is, with Squeeze and with Senior and Coach Kenny are always featured on the Rise podcast. And on the Rise podcast, Coach Calvin was asked about training Errol Spence and the rumors, and is there any truth to it? And he was joking around and poking around, but he did allude to it's a possibility it could be the case, that he could be helping Coach Derrick James. He said he and Derrick James are extremely close, but at the same time, he said that him and Bomac, who trains, a well-renowned trainer, former trainer of the year and possibly trainer of this year, Brian Bomac McIntyre, who's has a situation that he's currently dealing with, but Bomac and him are extremely close as well. So Coach Calvin said he's close with both, but he don't mind lending a helping hand. He's just going to let it wait, see how it plays out, and just sit around, wait for a phone call. Again, Coach Derrick James does most of the things on his own, right? When you see a team like Gervonta Tank Davis' team, they have Coach Kenny. You see multiple coaches. When you see Bomac, they have 3 different coaches. Derrick James even alluded to, having you guys have multiple, 4, 5 different coaches. Who's the one coaching them? Like Bomac is just a figurehead. And so, people feel like Errol Spence needs to bring in, another set of eyes to help Derrick James prepare and game plan for a Terrence Crawford rematch, as comes across as they overlooked Terrence Crawford. They underestimated Terrence Crawford. And you could tell that to be the case because Errol Spence, he stated, there were some things that I normally get away with that I couldn't get away with in this fight. Derrick James, he even stated that, he don't see much special about Terrence Crawford, right? I think they underestimated him or overvalued their skill set and their game plan. You hear a lot of times a lot of athletes, not just fighters, they'll say, I'm not worrying about what you do. I'm just worrying about being the best version of me. Well, strategically, the best version of you can be as equal as the best version of him. Now it comes down to game plan. It comes down to, strategy. It comes down to chess and certain moves. So you got to be prepared. And so at the end of the day, you need a game plan. I'm all for Coach Calvin helping Errol Spence prepare. But as far as Gervonta Tank Davis helping Errol Spence prepare, sparring, and get him ready for Terrence Crawford, no. If it's not Jerron Ennis or somebody like Erislandy Lara, even Erickson Hammer Lubin, somebody of that magnitude, they can't help him prepare for Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford has 74-inch arm reach. Gervonta Tank Davis has a 67-inch arm reach, which means Terrence Crawford has 7-inch arm reach advantage. Terrence Crawford is 5'8". Gervonta Tank Davis is 5'5". Terrence Crawford switches from southpaw to orthodox when he wants to. Gervonta Tank Davis is a southpaw predominantly. Terrence Crawford did fight this fight in the southpaw stance, but that doesn't mean that's what he'll do going forward. Okay, so Terrence Crawford has power in both hands. Tank Davis does have power in both hands, but not the angles, not the looks. He don't have the movement that Terrence Crawford has. So it's just completely different. So let's see how it unfolds and plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. So all I got for y'all, I'm gone. Peace.